the comments, tell me something that you saw as effort from the therapist. Give me something. One thing. Jasmine is the professional victim none of us ever need or want. And the professionals, aka the counselors or therapists, can't take the heat when it's coming from the heat thrower himself, Florian, who, listen, may have some anger issues, but damn if I'm not happy where it was placed on this one. But we'll get to that because it was entertaining, so make sure you stick around. But first, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. I appreciate all the support. Y'all are amazing as always. And as we get into this for the final tell-all for the 5-part that was never needed, but yet they managed to stretch out and make some entertainment, let's just remember that all of these people are insane.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, that seems nice. Okay, very nice.
Hi.
There it is. She turns into a sniveling little 5-year-old. I'm sorry, maybe not 5-year-old. That's okay. Like a middle schooler with her first crush. It's ridiculous how she flips on a dime, and this time it's like happy and giddy. But what she says later is interesting and just goes to show that it was all BS the whole time.
I'm running from getting married or having children.
Okay, so you're running from responsibility. Now, there's nothing wrong. Some people decide not to have kids. I get it. I think it's a mistake, but there's some that decide not to. Now, that being said, at this point, the way you've acted this whole time, meeting people in the gym who are married, you just had no interest in the responsibility. This could actually be good for him. Too bad the way he went about it was completely wrong in jumping in it just because he wanted to sleep with this person. Acting like he didn't do anything wrong because there was trouble in the marriage is just a major cope.
And I'm not that type of person.
You absolutely are that type of person because the reality is you knew it was a marriage, but because you don't have that relationship, you let them come and talk to you about an open marriage, and because you just wanted to sleep with Jasmine, you were all about it. Still makes you a homewrecker. Doesn't matter that there were issues going on in the marriage. That's not your place. Let them leave the marriage, let them divorce, whatever. Pick it up later if you want to, but you were part of the problem, no matter what's said. So was Gino. Gino was part of the problem too, because he's worthless and wouldn't actually be intimate with his wife. So is Jasmine, because clearly she had ulterior motives the whole time. No one in this is innocent, but let's not pretend like just because he wasn't part of the marriage that he didn't have something to do with it.
You care for her,
Shut up, you don't know anything.
You won't get anywhere with her.
You don't know anything.
Okay. Gino just needs to keep his mouth shut at this point. Every time he opens his mouth, it's like it's put on, like he's a bad actor in an acting troupe, and he's like the one that no one wants to tell is really bad, but they just let him hang around because they want to be someone who's accepting, so they let him hang out and play like the tree in the background. That's who Gino is. He needs to just keep his mouth shut. I'll tell you what, let Rob argue for you because it's more hilarious.
Because it's an open marriage, and for instance, Reva, one of the therapists, successfully executes it.
Reva brainwashed the hell out of him, considering the fact that right there when she was talking to Jasmine, she, if you would read between the lines, basically said that she has problems in her own polyamorous relationship. Why the hell would they bring this, or, you know, whatever, open marriage, whatever you want to call this crap you're doing to ruin your marriage? The fact is, she said she went through a bunch of issues. You need communications, but I've gone through issues, and yet they still listen. Wait till you hear where she tries to backtrack later. That's where it gets interesting. But Gino is a damn idiot for saying, but Reva said, I'm like, okay, if you can't think for yourself, your marriage is doomed. If you can't think what's right for your marriage and can't come and say, hey, these are some things we need to do, we need to work on it ourselves, and let Reva, the horrible therapist who has no business being anyone giving any kind of advice whatsoever, then Gino, you deserve that crap because you can't think for your damn self.
Gino is a grown man, bro. You don't need to be his cup.
Hey, dickhead! Shut your mouth.
Look, these insults get worse and worse, but it's hilarious him calling Rob the cuck for Gino when really the way Gino accepted this whole thing, he really was the one that looked like the cuck. I swear he was going to end up being in the corner just kind of watching because he likes to watch, and that's where it was going to begin with. So it's hilarious he's making that comparison, but the insults are awful. Like it's truly awful scripted. It's like a soap opera, but that they didn't even halfway try.
Is he treated her bad?
You don't know, man. You're in the head.
You've never slept with her.
What are they talking? You never slept. Okay, he may not. He didn't sleep with her in like a year, but really, Ever, that's kind of stretching it, but we already talked about the fact that Gino had his own problems with not being intimate with his wife. That is a big problem. Huge. And quite frankly, she probably would have been justified to leave him for many, many reasons. But she didn't. Instead, she decided to go the route she did. And now she's got two idiot beta males trying to masquerade as alpha males, talking about crap, making horrible insults. I mean, it's entertaining, so there's that.
This guy's delusional.
Such the ladies' man, aren't you, my man?
so, what? Such the ladies' man, aren't you, dude? Like, it's just searching for an insult. It's god awful. It's like he's like looking in got a little book of insults in his lap, and when the camera cuts away, he's like, "What do I call him next?" All right, man.
I don't even know what love is anymore.
Okay. You never knew what love was. You met Gino on a sugar daddy website, which is also why I do not feel bad for how y'all relationship ended up, because you get what you deserve. He got what he deserved. The woman who was gonna play him the whole time, she got what she deserved, which was a guy who was impotent, I guess. And then the dude coming in now, who was the third person, is getting what he deserves, because now she's saying, I don't even really love him though. I mean, everyone in here was played by Jasmine, and it's hilarious. But the fact is she's still given a platform, and that is a travesty. Just stop watching her. Stop it. I mean, we could talk about her and joke, but no one should watch her. I don't know, what does she do? TikToks? She probably has her own subscription-based website, if you know what I mean, because that's the kind of person she is. Everyone should stop watching Jasmine. Don't give her the attention.
I know that a lot of people have questioned like the reasons why I came to this country,
Yes.
like if I used, but
you did.
I
You met on a sugar daddy website. Of course you use Gino. And now she's going to sit there and say, I know people ask me, they say I use Gino, but no, I know use Gino, except for all the evidence. But forget about that.
not what I expected when I moved to America. I think that
She turns it on.
I should have had the courage just to pack my bags and go back to Panama.
I should have had the courage to go back to Panama, but instead I decided to have an open marriage because I want to sleep with whoever I want.
Your therapist provided wonderful insight
Oh,
throughout the
what?
season.
Very important people. Your therapist provided great insight throughout the season. I mean, I'm seriously convinced that Sean doesn't watch the show. I mean, who would have thought that the host that gets paid to just sit there and do this recap, basically, does not watch the show? Because otherwise, she would know that this has got to be the most god-awful group of therapists / counselors / whatever the hell Reva is in the entire reality TV realm.
Whether they wanted to stay in their marriage, whether they wanted something else, or that they wanted to be single.
Oh, okay.
And I think that
Sure.
in itself is growth. And
Sure.
if you can walk away with growth, you've succeeded already in the first step.
That is the biggest crock of crap word salad I think I've ever heard, let alone a person parading around claiming to be a counselor. My God, lady. She basically said, whether you stay single or stay together, as long as you're searching but not searching, and as long as you look inward but outward, then that's growth, and that's what we expect. You covered every basis so it can look like no matter the outcome, you did a good job. You were the worst of all. You were absent half the time, and the other half, you turned it over to a crazy hypnotherapist hippie. What on earth?
My professional and personal advice.
What?
They rushed into a situation
What?
neither of them was really comfortable with.
The hell she just say? Did she literally just say, against my advice? She encouraged the hell out of Jasmine. Jasmine was jumping for joy in the session because she just found out that her therapist is an advocate of having a throuple or an open marriage or whatever the hell, because she does it too. Jumping for joy. She had no disclaimers whatsoever. The best you can say is she said, you need to have communication, followed up by she has issues in her own. So she simultaneously advocated for it and said that hers was not in a good place while encouraging Jasmine. Oh my God. And then now she's trying to backtrack because she knows how bad it went.
It should not be if your marriage already is broken.
Okay.
100%. And I think that's
What? Every person in here had a broken marriage, and you're going to say that you basically gave the advice that in a broken relationship, you shouldn't be going into an open marriage? You actively encouraged it. This lady should be drummed out of whatever therapy circles she goes in to get business and should be laughed out of the damn place. She is a laughing stock. If her marriage is still something now, it will fail because she's already admitted to the problems. No one should be listening to this crackpot's advice.
I don't recall anyone telling me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not my job to tell you what you should and shouldn't do.
Oh my gosh. She literally said that she told them it wouldn't be a good idea with this kind of relationship. And now she's saying, because he said, I never heard that, it's not her job. Like, the most blatant backtrack, the most blatant liar I think I've seen. I mean, this is awful. I make fun of the married at first sight therapists, but damn, at least they're, every now and again, I could be like, that was good advice. These people are just straight out the asylum.
Reba was 100% clear. So I take accountability because I was explained this.
Oh, you take accountability now that you're pregnant and now that you did and got what you wanted, you take accountability. You were not explained this. Now you're lying to cover Reba because Gino has a case and you know Gino has a case. You were wrong. So you taking 100% accountability? No, she says her and Gino. She can't take 100% accountability. She's incapable.
It didn't work and it's our fault.
See, our fault. Look, Gino should have had the cojones to step up and say no. So he was definitely a coward when it came to that. A not so nice word that I'll leave out because, you know, we try to keep it a little light here. But at the same time, no backbone with Gino. So he should have said that to begin with. But her acting like it was their decision and she didn't basically say, look, I'm going to leave you if you don't let me sleep with this dude. And then Gino made the bad decision to say, okay.
I think one thing I want to note is that Stacey came into this wanting help for her
Interesting how she starts this off.
marriage. And I know Florian was clear with that. He didn't believe in therapy.
Okay, so what therapist starts off a therapy session, which in this case, you're there as a therapist. I don't care if it's a tell-all. What person comes in there and starts things off by saying, I just want to be clear on this. Stacey actually wanted to try to change something. Florian did not. Who does that? Like, you may be right. Florian was definitely more closed off to therapy, but saying that right off the bat just goes to show you that you didn't care about everyone involved and thought about everyone's well-being, which as a therapist you're supposed to do. No, you took sides. You immediately showed Stacey was right, Florian was wrong, even though you're supposed to be talking about what therapy you did. So you might as well go ahead and say, I failed as a therapist because you didn't do your freaking job.
Yes, but teach her to explain things. Teach her.
I think she does an amazing job. But listen,
A sadistic narcissist.
Oh my gosh, Ari going on. Just go away, Ari. My God. So this all stemmed from basically the therapist saying that they had kind of a mother-son dynamic, if you will, which maybe a little bit, but at the same time, they don't even talk about the negatives of Stacey. Like, I don't know, playing up everything for the camera, like some interaction he had with some girl in a bar, which was clearly acted out by Stacey and was not reality because the acting was so bad. So what about her addiction to plastic surgery? Are we going to talk about that? Are we going to talk about her addiction to fillers and all these kind of things? Any of that? No, we're going to talk about Florian's temper, which, sure, he's got a bit of a temper. But at the same time, he is not the only one in their relationship causing problems.
Disgusting.
disrespectful and rude.
You know what's disrespectful and rude? Like, we can talk about Florian all day. He's got plenty of issues. But you know what really disrespectful and rude? 3 people who claim to be therapists walk out there, literally do nothing that can even have a resemblance of therapy and act like they did something good. That's what's disrespectful and rude. This is coming from the same guy that immediately when Natalie starts talking about stuff said, you know what? People were probably mean to you on the playground as a kid. And she's like, you know what? They were mean to me on the playground. That explains all my problems. It is the most cringe crap I've ever seen. This bunch is like, you know what? They should have their own reality show, but it's just people joking on them for being horrible therapists.
But you're very aggressive and you're very scary the way you talk.
Me scary?
Yeah.
Okay, let me point out something here. Her talking about you're scary, you know, and putting her hands all in his face and doing this whole, you know what, you're really scary. Yeah. okay, she has no fear of him. Let's be real. He might have an anger issue. He might yell. They might fight. She is not afraid of him. She's not thinking he's going to physically harm her. So maybe he needs some issues for some anger, but let's not act like he is actually dangerous, because we haven't really seen that. Other than maybe you can argue the knocking the drink out of Jasmine's hand. But again, I think a lot of that was scripted, and Jasmine instigated something that was never going to be truly physical. Oh, God.
I had to walk away to just like shift the energy.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Why are you apologizing?
You don't apologize. You don't need to apologize.
Yeah, you don't need to apologize. You know why? Because they're awful. They didn't do you any favors. In fact, they have you so brainwashed thinking that they were good therapists that I don't even know what to say. I think you need to go to some sort of anti-brainwash camp, because good Lord, these therapists, all they did was make everyone believe they did something good while doing absolutely nothing.
Reba, James, and Heidi, thank you so much. I know this was a lot of work for you.
Oh,
And
lots
we
of work.
appreciate all the effort that you put into helping
Uh-huh.
our couples.
Oh,
Really,
effort? Please, you know what? I'll tell you what. Put in the comments, tell me something that you saw as effort from the therapist. Give me something, one thing that they did that can be actually said as something good. I bet you can't, but someone do it. I want to see it.
To say my part of the story, it was just like, as soon as I sat, I was just crucified and like.
Perpetual victim that is Jasmine is now talking to the horrible therapist that is Reva, coming up and saying, hey, I just wanted to talk to you because, you had my back by lying. So now she wants to talk to her, and now Jasmine's playing the victim again, saying, I was crucified as soon as I sat down. You walked in late, pranced yourself in to show off the fruits of your labor, screwing another dude. So yeah, you should have been crucified, but you had plenty of time to say your piece as you were playing the victim for the entire 5-part tell-all. So yeah, Jasmine, you're just a blatant liar.
Like I basically pushed to have this open marriage. Like
Yes.
it was not my sole decision.
Yes, it was. It was absolutely your sole decision. And the reason is because Gino's too much of a coward to say, okay, have your open marriage. In fact, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm leaving you. And you were too much of a, well, no, you just wanted your cake. I wouldn't call you a coward. You wanted your cake and eat it too. You wanted Gino for the sugar daddy aspect, and you wanted the random you met at the gym just to sleep with. So that's what you wanted.
It's mentally, we were not arguing. It was working.
Jasmine, you know what I see? I see that you and Gino are both hurting right now.
Good Lord. She's really trying to repair her image here. And then you have Jasmine, who's really laying it on thick again with the crying, the fake crying where there's not, I think there one tear trickled out, but probably when she was looking at the light. So it is just the acting well, it's not really the acting performance of all time because it's pretty awful, but she thinks it's good.
I wanted to leave this with you, not with anybody else. I didn't put myself, I didn't premeditate this.
Yes, you absolutely did, because you met the guy in the gym and then you formulated this whole plan of this open marriage, and then when Reba came in and said something in the therapy, you're like, yes, now I can have an ally in my corner so my plan can be executed and I can go live with this other guy and stop sleeping with Gino and then divorce him. That's what happened. Woo! Lots going on.
A lot of judgment for me.
Oh, lots of judgment for Jasmine.
I don't want all this negativity surrounding me to affect the miracle that I'm living right now.
Good God, she just cannot stop playing the victim. I don't want this negativity to affect the miracle. Okay, you're right. A baby is a miracle, okay? Regardless of how it got there, it's a miracle. You know what you do now? You change your ways. You become a decent mom. You're there for that child while, I don't know, going back to your other child or children or whatever, and, actually being there and being present. Not out there for attention, not looking for any camera you can find to get in front of, not doing crazy TikToks and Instagram or whatever you're trying to do, not getting any more surgery, none of that. Being a decent mom, being there for your child without using them as some sort of, TikTok ornament or something like that. That's what you can do, Jasmine. That's how you can take positivity out of this. I don't believe you'll do it, but you know what? I'm not above redemption. There's nothing wrong with redemption. So let's see what Jasmine does. I hope this really does change her.
And I found out he has a girl.
That is the face of someone who's already looking for that girl and has probably located the address and is like, I'm going there right now. Yee. Now that is, of all the people you should be scared of, it's that one. Not because she's just going to beat you up, but because you don't know what she's like lurking behind your back. It was interesting and adventurous and chaos-filled and drama-filled to say the least. They did good with the scripting this time, but at the same time, they really tried to repair the image of the counselors and tried to let Jasmine repair her image, which is crazy. They need to cut Jasmine off. She doesn't need to be on these shows anymore. They certainly don't need to bring back these therapists if they do Last Resort again. Good God, cut them loose. But, you know, we did get some good insight. We will see where this goes. The next thing is going to be Looking for Love or whatever the next one is, but it's going to be interesting to see where these idiots actually try to find love this time, and do they make some progress. I do not have high hopes because they are definitely like a bunch of dull knives, and there's not a sharp knife amongst them. They not one. So we will see how all that plays out, but I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. Your support does not go unnoticed. Thank you so much. I will see y'all next time.